The man Tupac trusted most in the world walked onto that stage with a smile. But what he revealed in front of 35,000 fans would destroy their brotherhood forever and expose the most painful betrayal in hip-hop history. What happened next would leave an entire arena in stunned silence and change how the world understood loyalty, friendship, and the devastating cost of betrayal. It was July 15, 1996, at the Oakland Coliseum in California. Tupac was delivering one of the most emotionally powerful performances of his career to a sold-out crowd of 35,000 fans. He had already electrified the massive audience with explosive renditions of California Love and Me Against the World, and the energy in the stadium was reaching fever pitch. But what nobody in that venue knew was that Tupac's closest friend and confidant, Marcus Big Mike Johnson, had been planning this moment for weeks. The man who had been Tupac's friend since childhood, his most trusted advisor, and the person he considered a brother was about to commit the ultimate act of betrayal in the most public way possible. Marcus had grown up with Tupac in Baltimore, and their friendship had survived every challenge life had thrown at them. When Tupac's career exploded, Marcus became his right-hand man, handling everything from personal security to business decisions. Tupac trusted him completely, often saying that Marcus was the only person in the world who truly understood him. But what Tupac didn't know was that Marcus had been secretly working with federal investigators for over a year, gathering evidence about Tupac's activities, recording private conversations, and building a case that would ultimately send his best friend to prison. The betrayal had been carefully orchestrated, and tonight was when it would all come to light. But the way Marcus chose to reveal his betrayal would shock everyone present, including the federal agents who had been expecting a private arrest. Tupac was midway through Dear Mama, one of his most emotionally charged songs about loyalty and family, when Marcus walked onto the stage from the wings. At first, the crowd cheered, thinking this was a planned part of the show. Marcus had appeared with Tupac before, and fans knew him as Tupac's closest friend and business partner. Big Mike, Tupac called out with genuine joy, interrupting his own song to embrace his childhood friend. You Siptal. This is my brother right here. This man has been with me since day one. But as Marcus approached, something in his expression made Tupac pause. There was no warmth in his eyes, no genuine smile, just a cold determination that Tupac had never seen before. Pac, Marcus said, taking the microphone that Tupac offered him. I got something to tell you. Something I should have told you a long time ago. The crowd fell silent, sensing that this wasn't going to be the typical friendly banter they expected between the two friends. What you talking about, Mike? Tupac asked, his voice carrying a note of concern that was audible to everyone in the stadium. Marcus looked directly at his childhood friend, the person who had trusted him completely, and spoke the words that would destroy everything between them. I've been working with the FBI for 14 months. Marcus announced, his voice carrying clearly through the arena SIP's sound system. Everything you SIPs told me, everything you SIPs done, I've been reporting back to federal agents. The arena erupted in shocked gasps and confused shouting. 35,000 fans were witnessing the most devastating betrayal in real time, and nobody knew how to process what they were hearing. But Tupac Stitt's reaction was even more heartbreaking than anyone could have anticipated. For a moment, Tupac just stared at Marcus in complete disbelief. Then his face went through a series of emotions, confusion, hurt, anger, and finally a kind of broken acceptance that was visible to everyone watching. You what? Tupac whispered, but his microphone picked up every word. I've been recording our conversations, Marcus continued, his voice showing no remorse or emotion. I've got tapes of you talking about things that Sal put you away for life. The feds have been building a case, and I've been helping them. The crowd began booing Marcus, but their anger seemed distant compared to the raw pain visible on Tupac's face. Mike, Tupac said, his voice breaking, you stir my brother. You stir my family. Why would you do this to me? Because you changed, Pac, Marcus replied. You became someone I didn't recognize, someone dangerous, and I decided that stopping you was more important than protecting our friendship. But what happened next would show Tupac Sip's true character, even in the face of ultimate betrayal. Instead of responding with anger or violence, instead of having security remove his former friend, Tupac did something that stunned everyone present, including Marcus himself. 35,000 people are watching this, Tupac said, his voice growing stronger despite the obvious pain he was feeling. You could have done this privately. You could have arrested me backstage. But you chose to destroy me in front of all these people who came here to have a good time. Marcus looked uncomfortable for the first time, perhaps realizing the cruelty of his chosen method of revelation. You know what that tells me about you? Tupac continued. It tells me that you don't just want to arrest me. You want to humiliate me. You want to hurt me as much as possible. The crowd was completely silent now, understanding that they were witnessing something unprecedented in entertainment history. But here's the thing, Mike, Tupac said, looking directly at his former friend. Even after what you just did to me, even after you betrayed everything we had since we were kids, I still love you like a brother. The arena gasped at Tupac's words. This wasn't what anyone had expected. That Sip's who I am, Tupac continued. That Sip's who I Sip always be. You can betray me. You can try to destroy me, but you can Sip make me hate you, because real love doesn't Sip die just because someone hurts you. Marcus's composure finally cracked, and tears became visible in his eyes. Puck. He started to say. No, Tupac interrupted. You made your choice. Now I Sip, I'm going to make mine. What Tupac did next created one of the most powerful moments in concert history. Ladies and gentlemen, Tupac announced to the crowd, you just witnessed something that most people never see. You saw what betrayal looks like. You saw what it means when someone you trust completely decides to destroy you. The audience listened in absolute silence, understanding that they were receiving a lesson about life, loyalty, and character. But you also saw something else, Tupac continued. You saw that betrayal doesn't have to make you bitter. It doesn't have to make you hate. It can make you stronger if you choose love over revenge. He turned back to Marcus one final time. Mike, you were my brother for 20 years. You were my best friend, my confidant, the person I trusted most in this world. And you chose to destroy that. But I Sip not going to let your betrayal destroy who I am. Tupac then addressed the federal agents who were apparently waiting in the wings. If you want to arrest me, come and arrest me. But don't hide behind my former friend Sit's betrayal. Have the courage to face me directly. At that moment, FBI agents began moving onto the stage, and it became clear that Marcus's revelation had been coordinated with law enforcement. But before they could reach him, Tupac made one final statement that would be quoted for decades to come. The real tragedy tonight isn't that I am getting arrested, he said. The real tragedy is that a 20-year friendship died because someone forgot what loyalty means. The arrest that followed was surreal and heartbreaking. As federal agents handcuffed Tupac on stage in front of 35,000 fans, Marcus stood watching with tears streaming down his face, apparently realizing the full impact of what he had done. But the most powerful moment came as Tupac was being led away. He stopped, looked back at Marcus one final time, and said words that would haunt his former friend forever. I forgive you, Mike. But I'll never trust you again. The betrayal at Oakland Coliseum became one of the most discussed moments in entertainment history, not just because of the dramatic revelation, but because of how Tupac had responded to ultimate treachery with dignity, wisdom, and an unexpected display of love and forgiveness. The federal case that Marcus had helped build ultimately fell apart due to questions about the methods used to obtain evidence and the public nature of the revelation. Tupac was released after 3 days, but the damage to his friendship with Marcus was permanent and irreparable. Marcus later attempted to explain his actions, claiming that he had been trying to save Tupac from a path that would have led to his destruction, that the way he had chosen to reveal his betrayal publicly, cruelly, in front of thousands of fans made his motivations appear vindictive rather than protective. I thought I was helping him, Marcus said in a later interview. but I realize now that I was really trying to hurt him because I felt like he had changed and left me behind. The Oakland betrayal also changed how fans understood loyalty, friendship, and the pressures that come with fame and success. Many people who witnessed it described it as a lesson in how to maintain your character even when others fail to maintain theirs. What Tupac showed us that night was that you don't have to become like the people who hurt you, reflected fan Maria Santos years later. You can choose to be better than the betrayal you experience. The incident also influenced how other artists approached their inner circles and business relationships. The public nature of Marcus's betrayal served as a warning about the importance of carefully choosing who to trust with personal and professional information. Today, the Oakland Coliseum betrayal is studied as an example of how public figures can maintain dignity and character even in the face of personal destruction. Tupac's response to ultimate treachery became a model for how to handle betrayal with grace rather than bitterness. The 35,000 fans who witnessed the backstab understood that they had seen something more than entertainment. They had witnessed a masterclass in forgiveness, strength, and the power of choosing love over hate, even when someone you trust most decides to destroy you. The best friend who became the ultimate betrayer learned too late that some actions can never be undone, and that destroying someone you love ultimately destroys a part of yourself that can never be recovered. The Oakland Coliseum betrayal didn't just destroy a friendship. It fundamentally changed how people understood trust, loyalty, and the moral courage required to maintain your character when someone you love chooses to destroy you. Within days of the public betrayal, the story had spread across global media, but the focus wasn't on the FBI investigation or the legal implications. Instead, people were talking about Tupac's response to ultimate treachery and what it revealed about authentic strength and forgiveness. "I've never seen anything like what Tupac did that night," reflected Dr. Patricia Williams, a psychologist who specializes in relationships and betrayal. Most people respond to that level of betrayal with rage, revenge, or bitterness. Instead, he chose love and forgiveness while still maintaining clear boundaries. The incident became a case study in psychology courses about how people can maintain their moral center even when experiencing devastating personal attacks. Tupac's ability to separate his former friend's actions from his own character choices inspired research into resilience and emotional intelligence. The Oakland betrayal showed us that forgiveness doesn't mean accepting mistreatment, explained relationship counselor Dr. Michael Chen. Tupac forgave Marcus while also making it clear that trust once broken couldn't be automatically restored. The public nature of Marcus's betrayal also raised ethical questions about law enforcement methods and the use of personal relationships to gather evidence. The FBI's coordination with Marcus's public revelation faced criticism from legal experts and civil rights advocates. Using someone's closest friendship as a weapon of public humiliation crosses ethical lines that law enforcement shouldn't cross, argued civil rights attorney David Rodriguez. The Oakland incident showed how investigative methods can become forms of psychological torture. The betrayal also influenced how other artists and public figures approach their inner circles and business relationships. The visible pain that Tupac experienced became a cautionary tale about the importance of carefully choosing who to trust with personal information. After seeing what happened to Pac, a lot of us realized we needed to be more careful about who we let into our private lives, reflected rapper Ice Cube. But we also learned that you can live in fear of betrayal, you just have to be prepared to handle it with dignity if it happens. The incident had profound effects on Marcus Johnson himself, who became a symbol of how betrayal ultimately destroys the betrayer as much as the betray. His subsequent interviews revealed a man consumed by regret and struggling to understand his own motivations. "I told myself I was trying to save him, but really I was jealous of who he's become," Marcus admitted in a tearful interview months later. "I destroyed the most important relationship in my life because I couldn't handle feeling left behind." The psychological aftermath of the betrayal became another significant aspect of the story. Marcus reportedly suffered from severe depression and anxiety following the incident, demonstrating how betraying someone you love creates lasting damage to your own mental health. "Betraying Pac didn't just end our friendship. It destroyed my ability to trust myself, Marcus explained in therapy sessions that were later made public with his permission. If I could betray my best friend, what else was I capable of? The Oakland incident also influenced academic research into the psychology of betrayal and forgiveness. Universities began studying the incident as an example of how forgiveness can be a form of strength rather than weakness. Tupac's response challenged conventional wisdom about how people should react to betrayal, noted psychology professor Dr. Sarah Martinez. He showed that forgiveness could coexist with clear boundaries and self-protection. The betrayal also became a powerful teaching tool in courses about friendship, loyalty, and moral courage. Students analyzed how Tupac had maintained his character while also protecting himself from further harm. The Oakland betrayal is perfect for teaching about emotional intelligence and moral leadership, explained ethics professor Dr. Lisa Rodriguez. It shows how you can respond to personal attacks with dignity while still maintaining appropriate boundaries. The incident influenced popular culture representations of friendship and betrayal. Movies, books, and songs began exploring themes of forgiveness without reconciliation and the difference between loving someone and trusting them. The federal investigation that Marcus had helped build ultimately collapsed due to questions about evidence-gathering methods and the public nature of the revelation. Legal experts argued that the dramatic betrayal had compromised the integrity of the case. The Oakland incident showed how personal vendettas can undermine legitimate law enforcement efforts, explained federal prosecutor Dr. Jennifer Wilson. Marcus Sips's need for public humiliation ultimately destroyed the case they had been building. The fans who witnessed the betrayal became part of a community bonded by shared experience of seeing something unprecedented in entertainment history. Many described the incident as life-changing, altering how they understood relationships and trust. That night taught me that real strength isn't set about fighting back. It's sets about staying true to who you are, even when someone tries to destroy you, reflected fan Jennifer Martinez. Tupac showed us what authentic forgiveness looks like. The betrayal also influenced how the music industry approached artist security and personal relationships. Labels began implementing protocols to help artists identify and manage potential threats from within their inner circles. The Oakland incident forced the entire industry to recognize that sometimes the biggest threats come from the people you trust most, noted music industry executive Marcus Thompson. We had to develop better ways to protect artists from personal betrayal. Today, the Oakland Coliseum betrayal is considered one of the most significant moments in entertainment history, not because of the FBI investigation or legal implications, but because of the moral lesson it provided about forgiveness, strength, and maintaining character under extreme pressure. The 35,000 fans who witnessed the ultimate backstab understood that they had seen something more valuable than entertainment. They had received a masterclass in how to respond to betrayal with dignity, wisdom, and strength. The betrayer, who thought he was saving his friend, ultimately learned that some actions create wounds that never heal, and that destroying someone you love inevitably destroys essential parts of yourself.